today I thought I'd show you a bit about active tracking. I've been using the DJI Mini 3 Pro for a little while. I've used active track on bikes a few times, walking and a little bit of running. So what I want to do is just show you some things I've learned to make it a bit easier for anybody who's never done it before. To use for tracking, it's really good when you're out and about. If you use it cycling, there's some tips I'll give later as well. Let's get it set up, get the drone in the air and show you. I like the Fly More kit because it comes with a bag, and I just think when you're somewhere you can't put the drone down, you can kind of work from the bag. I think that's the point of it. Some people are criticising it, but I don't know. Well, first one, but I've found it really useful. I said it in the other video that these straps, or a strap is really useful. There's something else not to hang on to while you're setting stuff up. Again, it means I could stand up, work here, get the drone set up and not worry about putting things down all the time. It's windy, so I don't know if the footage is going to be a bit shaky today. Let's get the controller going. Something I learned the other day, whenever you load the controller, it always starts in normal mode. So if you have it in cinema or sport mode, it's still in normal mode. So it's worth flicking the switch across and back again. Okay, hasn't been on. First time today, so it's going to need to find some satellites. Here we go. Right. I don't know if it records the stop button. Something else I learned, this is really useful. I've been putting up with this stop button for the screen recording in the way of all of the critical information when I'm flying the drone. Turns out you can touch it and move it out of the way. What? These things I keep learning, they just seem to happen. Even though I go on YouTube and watch videos, there's these little bits that I just seem to miss somehow. 28 satellites, so that's plenty. So let's go for a launch. Gonna have to use my glasses. If you fly drones and it's sunny, it's worth having some sunglasses with you. Okay, we've got some people here, so I'm just going to wait for a minute. What I might do is show you how to hand land it again, just whilst I wait. Now, before I overcomplicate it by saying, oh, you needed a hump or a ground or something like that, you absolutely don't. Even if it's lower, right, and you put your hand underneath and it moves out of the way, that is fine. Or with the DJI Mini 3, your hand is big enough to then hold the left stick down, put it into landing mode, and it will land in your hand. It is that easy. When I did the other video, I think I made it look a bit longer than that. Now, one of the main tips, it took me a while to work out, is you've got to be close enough. If you're not close enough, it won't lock onto you. So maybe that's a better example to show you, which sort of stating the obvious, but the software has to recognise things. It has to recognise either people, or I've noticed it recognises boats, people. I've not tried it with my dogs, buildings. There are things the software can recognise, and it needs to be one of those things. Otherwise, all it's going to do is a UI lock. It's just going to lock onto an area, and then you'll just track the area. So you'll just pan around or do a circle. What we're looking for is active track. We want to actively track and have it follow me while I'm walking, running, whatever. You know, it could be on a bike. Now, when you're on a bike, it doesn't recognise bikes, but it recognises the people on the bikes. So what we need to do is get that to, see if we can get it to recognise me. So we're going to draw a box over me, and we can't do a proper active track because it's not a person. There you go, unable to switch subject. So that just thinks it's a place. So we need to hit that little green X. Okay, so that's what we need to do. Bring the drone down. Now, a lot closer to me now, we draw a box over me, you just touch the screen, drag and drop, and you'll see there's a little icon of a person underneath. That's exactly what we want. So now all we do is we select active track, trace, okay, is selected, and what trace does is it will follow directly behind me, and that means it will use avoidance sensors so it won't crash into anything. So especially if you haven't done this before, or you've got any doubt of the area you're in, use trace. Okay, so we hit active track, so I think it's timed out, and then we just hit go. And I think what we want to do is, let's record that at the same time, and then you should be able to follow me through the grass. Now, I don't know if the sound's going to cut out because of the microphone range, but you'll see here. Let's get down to the path. Here we go. And it's just following me. Brilliant. It's really good. When these strafe, they don't have sensors. So that's what you need to watch. It's pinging at me because it can pick up hazards behind it or in front of it. So when I was walking that way and it's behind me, tracing me, that was fine. When it was going backwards, which I didn't know it did that actually. Turned around, went back, it literally just flew backwards, but it's got sensors behind the drone which make it safer. So dead easy. Now, If you want to see how far away you can go before it drops you, you can have it tracking you and you can try moving the drone away. So we still have the person symbol. Let's see how far away we can get before it doesn't notice me. It doesn't want to go any further, subject too far. So you can lock on, maximize the range to the subject, you or whoever you're tracking, and you can pull the drone away to its maximum range, then you're done. So it's nice and easy. We'll just fly the drone around here and we'll just do a bit of parallel tracking, I think. Just bring it in a bit. And I think a parallel track's going to be better lower down anyway. When you parallel track, you've got to be aware that you don't have parallel sensors. So parallel tracking, obstacle avoidance doesn't exist. That's what it's warning us. You know, you can't have obstacle avoidance from the side. Go. So let's just try walking through here. Now I'm going to watch the drone because it's quite low to the cow slip. There you go. Bit of parallel tracking. Clever, isn't it? What I'll do is I'll show you having your subject tracked, but you can still adjust it as you go. It's really good. So we can go higher, for example. When you use active track on a bike, you need to be in control of your drone still. Even if you're active tracking and you start knocking buttons, you're going to be moving the drone around. It's safer because if you follow the rules of the CA in the UK, you need to be in control of your drone. So this is on the shortest setting I've got. I can sit on the bike and I can ride one-handed and literally watch as I go. I don't do this on roads. This is on a gravel trail in the countryside. You know, it's nice and steady and safe. If you want to do anything faster, really you just need to be tracking somebody else, or a shorter strap might help a bit, but you shouldn't be going too fast anyway because you need to be concentrating on what's on your screen as well as what's in front of you. So if it's nice and steady and it's a gravel trail and you know it's safe, it's maybe not such of a problem. I didn't find it a problem, but that's one thing to watch out for. The other, which caught me out, is on the controller you can choose your home location and you can choose your maximum distance. Now I've got my maximum distance quite low. I think it's at 1.5 kilometers or something. And what happened was we had the drone track me back from the mine. I did a video on an old abandoned mine. Cycled 1.5 kilometers away and the drone just stopped. Now I was watching the screen so I could see it stop straight away. Stopped the bike, leg down, had a look. I could not get the drone to land in my hand. It didn't take me too long to work out, but it's its maximum range from where it took off from. Now, although when you fly these, you know that the controller knows where the drone is because it shows the controller GPS in relation to the drone GPS. So in my head, I'm thinking, that's less than 1.5 kilometers, what's the problem? But it's the home location that's really important. If you're riding a bike and your range is set to something quite small, like 1 kilometer, what might happen is you might reach that limit and the drone won't follow you. Now, if you need to get the drone back, update your home location or go back to the drone, if that's just as easy. To avoid it happening, extend your range to 2, 3, 4 kilometers, and then the drone can follow you quite happily. You can stop, land the drone, put it away again. Quite easy to sort out, quite easy to avoid, but I didn't find any guidance on it, so that's really useful for active track. I've seen people use an active track with one-wheel boards and all sorts, so they're going quite far, so they must have the same issue. So I think they've just extended the range, max range. Now I always put mine back because I quite like my drone not to go too far. If it loses reception, and return to home is on for me, and I'll have it come back and land. I just feel a lot safer with that at the moment. Imagine if you're launching from boats, you wouldn't necessarily want it to return to home. Sometimes you can set it so it just hovers, but at the moment I always have return to home set, and then I can get the drone back. In short, distance is distance from home location, not distance from you and the control. Just remember that. Might be useful sometime. Wasn't the end of the world, sorted it, it's not a problem. If you get stuck, update your home location, you re-get your distance again, or maybe just adjust the distance in your settings. If you've got plenty of time on the battery, you could do either. I don't think it's a problem. Just might take a bit of time working out what it is that's stopped the drone. But yeah, active track, brilliant bit of kit, fantastic. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I got it. I wanted it to follow me or my wife or my friends cycling and stuff, so that's brilliant. I do recommend using active track when somebody else is on the bike as well. It's quite nice being able to kind of have it track them, but then be able to do a nice panning shot while they're cycling up and over. you've just got that extra bit of control, and it just makes the images a bit more dynamic. There's some really nice images of Helen on the way to the mine, which I just thought were fantastic. Yeah, it's amazing nowadays having drones and even being able to do stuff like that. You know, back in the day, you'd have had to have a helicopter with a video camera. So yeah, it's amazing. Hope you find the video useful. I'll do another one soon. Keep flying. Oh, and if you've got any useful tips, people give me amazing tips in the comments. If you've got any useful tips, let me know. Hand landing. Somebody commented on how with the Mavic 3, it won't hand land into your hand like I did earlier in this field, because your hand isn't big enough. The sensors know it's not a landing platform, or it's not a big enough area. So DJI Mini 3 Pro, happy days, that's straightforward, but it sounds like the Mavic 3 may or may not like that. So, you know, it's a bigger piece of kit. Maybe the sensors are further apart. Maybe it knows it's just a small area. Who knows? But yeah, keep flying them drones. Add your comments below. Please like and subscribe. See you on the next one.